Okay, that's all I've got.
All right. Lovely. All right, so I will keep this fairly short. I find the experience of this being a, Monday through Wednesday NANOG and a half day on Wednesday, and to have this many people still in the room a little bit confusing. I'm sure, given the parties last night, many of you are confused as well, so I feel like this is good. I'm just going to go over a couple things about this meeting and talk about the next meetings. So thanks to CRG West for hosting this. They were fantastic hosts. Great party last night. Great hotel, great facility, couldn't ask for more. And also thanks to all the break sponsors and all the beer and gear sponsors. I mean, that's honestly, we hear lightweight kvetching about the cost of NANOG very occasionally, but the reality is this is an extraordinarily cheap industry conference for you all to go to, and the reason it's cheap is because those guys pony up serious dough. So if you feel like buying something from one of them because you saw something cool at NANOG, then mention to them that you saw them at NANOG so that their marketing people think, NANOG, those people buy stuff? That's wacky. And then they come back and they sponsor more. Just a thought. If you don't feel like buying anything from them, that's fine too. Here's some statistics about the meeting. We're all math junkies and stats junkies. So 575 registered attendees, 483 of those were not deadweight, people like me. I'm sorry. Here's the breakdown by category. 20% ISPs. A lot of the ISP numbers have been moving into some other categories of late, like content providers are up pretty significantly. Network operator that don't specify what kind of network operator there are. Equipment vendors, 18%. Content, research, education. So that's the breakout. Those are usually posted so you can trend those. Countries represented, the US seems to be dominating this NANOG. I'm not sure exactly why that might be. No, I'm just a lot of Japanese here. The Brits are invading. Not very many Kazakhstanians, which we need to work on. And some bunch of other countries represented as well. These shift depending on which coast you're on quite frequently, so one would expect that New York might get quite a few more Europeans, shorter flights, easier. Cisco has not succeeded in getting 10% of the attendees at this NANOG, but they did hit 7%, so that's good. A lot of Cisco people here, a lot of Juniper people here, a lot of Equinix and CRG West. A lot of that's location. This is an easy drive for a lot of those people who like our community and work with us, but may not have travel budget to go do hotels and flights to other places. So very, very nice to see all of these organizations sending so many people. So a couple other quick notes. The survey, please fill out the survey. I know it's a pain in your tuchuses, but the reality is we do need the feedback. Was this a good program? What was bad? What do you want to see in the future? And a note on the future. So NANOG 43 is coming up in Brooklyn in June. A couple notes about that. Telex is sponsoring it, and they're very excited to be sponsoring it, and they're doing a lot of promotion work now and a lot of groundwork now, and it's going to be a fantastic NANOG, and it's NANOG in New York City, and that historically hasn't happened and is a fairly impressive logistical feat just given how expensive hotels are in New York and how cheap we are as a group. So not to say we're cheap, but we're cheap, right? So like we're not willing to pay $400 a night for hotels for conferences, and to be able to organize an NANOG in New York with hotel rates under $200, I think they actually hit, or just around $200 is pretty impressive. So it's not an opportunity that's likely to be repeated again in the future. So a note about that from the program committee, we have received an enormous amount of positive feedback that we got the program out early enough for many of you to make travel decisions based on the quality and content of those presentations. That's great. What that means is that we'll do that again. What that means is that we're going to issue a call for presentations hopefully by tomorrow or the next day, and you have about 5 to 6 weeks to get your presentations in for NANOG New York. So if you have an idea for a presentation or think you would like us to give you an idea for a presentation, please come see someone with a yellow badge before you leave here today, because we'd like to begin the process of harassing you as quickly as possible. If you work for an organization that has a marketing department that thinks that you need engineers presenting interesting content at NANOG New York, the time to start doing that is right now. So we will see you in New York. Thank you very much. And that's a wrap.